everybody. Welcome to BioSweet Raw TV. First of all, happy Halloween. It is literally one of my favorite holidays ever of all time. You guys know that I do the Batman thing every year. I wish we had more kids in the area so I could do the Batman thing, but now I just look like a creepy fucking old guy walking around in a Batman costume at night, which is just not cool. But anyways, so I kind of want to throw this out there for you. You know, we've talked before about non-proprietary blends and why they're important. You know, non-prop blends, as far as supplements go, food, stuff like that, super important in my opinion, is to know what the fuck you're putting in your body. Now, this thing right here, it's on CBS News. It says, don't overdose on black licorice this Halloween. The FDA warns. Black licorice has been around since I was like fucking born, right? It's one of those things that, I think it was in Good and Plenty's too. It was like a candy that was coated, it was black licorice coated with some kind of like, fucking, I don't know, it was like little, like, frosting or something on it. And black licorice is something like my grandfather used to eat. Like, I mean, it's been around forever. It never was my favorite. Like, I would eat the Good and Plenty's, but like, I would never sit down and eat a bag of black licorice. But I guess there are some people that would. It says, the biggest candy-eating holiday event of the year, the FDA issues a warning, don't overdo it on the black licorice. The old-fashioned treat, old-fashioned, it's been around for a long time, can particularly risky for adults over 40. I'm 41, so fucking eat it. I'm drop dead. The FDA says eating 2 ounces, which is, I mean, 2 ounces is nothing, right? Let's say I did like black licorice. I would sit down and probably eat a good, like, 8 to 10 ounces maybe of it. I mean, I don't even consider that a lot, right? Because it weighs a lot, so it's heavier than, like, you know, or it's not heavier, but it takes up, it's more dense than a lot of other things you would eat for, you know, 5 ounces or whatever. For a day or two, eating 2 or more ounces of black licorice for a day or two, at least 2 weeks, could land people in this age group in the hospital with an irregular heart rhythm or arrhythmia. So black licorice can actually fuck up your heartbeat. What the fuck? Like, this is, I don't know if this is something new or if this was, anyways. It says the FDA explained the warning published on its website this week that black licorice contains a compound called glycyrrhizin. It's a sweetener in the compounding derived from licorice root, which can cause potassium levels in the bodies to fall. When this happens, some people can experience abnormal heart rhythms, as well as high blood pressure, swelling, lethargy, and congestive heart failure. The good news is potassium levels are usually restored once people stop eating the candy, and the health issues aren't permanent. It just goes on to give you a couple of warnings. It says, no matter what your age, don't eat large amounts of black licorice in one sitting. If you've been eating a lot of black licorice and experience irregular heart rhythms or muscle weakness, stop eating candy and go to the doctor. Black licorice can interact with certain medications, herbs, and dietary supplements. Talk to your healthcare provider if you have questions about possible interactions with a drug supplement you take. So let me get this straight. A fucking candy on the market. And I'd be interested to know if when we were kids, if it had the same ingredient in it. Although it's a sweetener, I think when we were kids, it basically just had fucking sugar in it. I mean, that's what was in it. But this certain ingredient can actually fucking kill you. Congestive heart failure, it can actually kill you if you ate enough of it. Now, granted, if you drink too much water, it can fucking kill you. If you, I mean, if you did anything in excess, it'll kill you. However, candy, it's like the most basic, simple thing where, especially tonight on Halloween, where kids may go out trick-or-treating and sit down and eat an abnormally large amount of candy when they get home. Like, I remember we used to go do the trick-or-treating at our houses. We'd go to Warren. We'd go to the fire station, which set up a thing for kids in Warren, and we'd have pillowcases. And we'd fill up the pillowcases with candy, and we got home, we'd dump them on the floor, and my parents would go through and make sure there was no razor blades or tacks or shit in the glass. Like, I never ever heard, I mean, we heard of people talking about it, we never saw shit like that, and we would just sit there and eat that fucking candy. Now, what if there was a fucking bag of black licorice that was a 3 or 4 ounce bag of black licorice in it, and we fucking ate that, and then we ate Good and Plenty's that also had the, you get where I'm going with this, right? Really quickly, that shit could add up in your system to where you're a kid, you could have these weird fucking, these weird kind of instances where you're having heart arrhythmias and stuff and feeling weird and being dizzy and shit, and your parents would be like, oh, it's a sugar rush, right? It's a sugar rush, right? No more sugar, go to bed. Meanwhile, you're having congestive heart failure possibly from the candy, which I get it, it's a stretch, but the bottom line is the FDA has to put out a fucking warning about this. Letting you know about it means that this could be a fucking issue. Now, granted, I think that Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Nestle's Crunches, Kit Kats, those little Hershey things that come with like Crackle and Snapple and whatever the fuck those other things are, you know, that's what kids go for nowadays. They love that shit. They love bubblegum, they love candy fucking lollipops, whatever. You know, black licorice I don't think is in a big, is going to be a big thing for kids this Halloween. However, it could be. So just beware, guys. You know, there are things that you're going to put in your body, and I think that reading the bags and reading the labels and shit that you can't pronounce, Google it. Research it. Don't give shit to your kids. Don't eat shit yourself unless you know what the fuck is going in your body. Like, had the FDA not put this warning out, I mean, how many people is this actually affected? I mean, I never knew about black licorice like that. It was just a fucking candy, right? It's a candy. What's more basic and simple and fucking non-threatening than a piece of licorice? See? BioStreetTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostreettraining.com is a blog. It's a happy Halloween bicep, and we are out.